All right, round one, and look at this perfect hand. We found our one mountain, and we have our card where you needed it for. This is perfect. So I guess we open up with rats because it can attack. Ah, mirror match. Ooh, found a removal spell too. This hand is shaping up nicely. Let's play our rats. Hmm. So this is kind of an interesting question. Do I want to swing with the rats? If I don't swing at the rats, is he gonna be willing to trade his cutthroat for my rats? And I think the answer is yes. Which I guess means I don't attack with the rats, but I also don't want to block with them. That's kind of a strange predicament, because I don't want to trade my rats for a cutthroat, but I certainly don't want to block his cutthroat with my rats either. So that's kind of tough. We're just gonna play the scavenger and pass, I guess. That is a very nice thing about the scavengers pre-delirium, is that they can block all skulk. All right, well, we get a nice planeswalker next turn. That's the good news. Ah, yes, another 3-color on turn 4 deck. He can gain 1 life. I'll allow it. I would much rather have the Death Touch at the moment. Desperate Sentry. Yes. So, good emerge target there. Alright, let's just drop Arlen, and I think we're just going to spit out a wolf. I could plus Arlen, but I'd rather just have a wolf, I think. Transform my dear. Kill something and transform her back at some point. No swinging this time, no play. Now that is not what I expected. So we can grapple with the past at some point. And we could boon of Emrakul. I guess we want to save both. I guess we might as well. We can pump a flipped. We can work towards her emblem, which I've never seen before. But that's a powerful emblem. But I mean, how highly incentivized am I right now to just start clearing? I mean, that's pretty good value. It would take at least 4 turns before I could emblem, which is a long time, right? This turn, next turn, the next turn, and then I can emblem. That's a long time to hope that she could stay alive. I probably just try and capitalize on, although Rancid Rats and Arlen emblem work really well together. Let's just kill Vampire Cutthroat. flip her back. Definitely don't want to kill the desperate sentry. Alright. So let's pass. I guess I can cast Grapple with the Past now. Maybe I should have attacked first. Okay. Turns out I should have. All right. I think we're going to grapple now. So let's get back to Foul Bloods. Let's play the Foul Bloods. And pass. So we already have... We can get Delirium. Grapple with the Past just did a phenomenal job at getting us very close to Delirium. So we're going to be able to get it next turn if we want. I'm kind of just saving my Boon of Emrakul until I need it. This card seems very good. The Shield Mate. That's a good trick. As well as a good flash creature. Pretty good chance I'm just going to play Boon of Emrakul next turn. It makes sense, because getting Delirium on this guy, a 4/3 menace, that's very good. I think my opponent realized that as well. All right. So I can still get Delirium to get the 3/4. I don't especially want to do that, though. It doesn't seem worth it on a 2/3. Okay, let's get our wolf. Transform back. Maybe we do work towards Emblem, although it's just too much value just killing things. So let's just keep passing. Okay. Good value for my opponent there. Get a little card draw. All right. Fox. What does the fox say? Graph Rats. There we go. So I can go for Emblem here. I mean, it seems fine. It's a strong Emblem, like I said. All right. It seems fine. Let's just work towards Emblem for now. There's just... I don't need to do anything here. I can attack with my wolf, but then he just trades for a fox, I guess? Is that better for me or for... I mean, it's probably better for me, but let's just keep defensive here. I'm really just not in a rush, right? If I get Arlen Emblem, all my creatures are going to be real big threats. I presume Emerge? Ah, from under the floorboards. Okay. So my opponent now has 6 creatures to my 4, which means they technically could kill Arlen here. Might be that time to bust out the old boon. I see. All attacking Arlen. All right. Well, let's... Although, you know, it might actually be better to block with our Grav Rats, right? No, that's not true, because Scavengers can still bring something back anyway, so let's block like this. I lose out on a toughness, but then I can immediately flip during my combat step if I draw. That makes more sense. So we don't need the Rancid Rats now. We can kill the 2/3. All right. This seems fine, actually. So now I can kill 2 of his guys. Ah, Dusk Feaster. That's perfect, actually. So let's go land. I can't play Boon and Dusk Feaster, can I? I mean, I can just play Dusk Feaster though, so why not? That seems fine. Let's do that. Get our 4/5 flyer. And we can continue to pump, or we can kill a zombie token. Let's keep working towards Emblem here. Also, plussing Arlen makes it a little more difficult to kill. It would have had to go down to 2 if I killed a zombie, which means if any of his zombies got through after that, it could be a problem. Ah, okay. So, all right. Looks like, well, they're not going to be able to kill Arlen, though. This Dusk Feaster has flying. Well, I mean, I'm going to block it. I'm not going to play around a combat trick. Huh. Okay. Not sure my opponent forgot that. I mean, Dusk Feaster doesn't look like she's flying in the picture. I will admit to that. Hunter's a fantastic draw. So Boon gives us Delirium, which I think I do want at this point. And we don't need it, though. Maybe we just keep plussing. Like, why not? Let's get to Emblem. I've never gotten Arlen Emblem before. Let's just play Boon on the Gloom Widow. I guess it can only block my... I kind of just want to get Delirium, but I guess I just don't need it. Let's hold out. We're being overly conservative here, but only because we're pretty far ahead on the board now. And I feel like if we can get this Arlen Emblem, it's gotta be GG's, right? That is such a strong ability. All your cards can just tap and kill your opponent or all of their creatures. That seems very, very difficult to beat. All in at Arlen. So you could have that new combat trick. Guess we're not playing around it. Ah, I see, okay. All right, let's bust out the Boon. We can take out his 3/3 reach, but it can't block anything besides the Dusk Feaster. So maybe it's better to just take out the 3/2 token. I don't really care if he has a 3/3 reach, but I guess we can. Yeah, actually, let's kill this. So he still has 4 guys, but if he ships everything at us, we just kill all of his things, so... Let's make him do that. He's going to have to attack Arlen with everything, and we can kill 3 of his 4 guys. I'm a little confused by the splashed Gloom Widow. Because at first we thought our opponent was basically same color we were. Ah, fork in the road. What's this, turns into a 3/5. I assume my opponent's got Delirium. For some reason, it doesn't show card types very well. Let's see. Land, creature, enchantment, sorcery. So my opponent does have Delirium, which means we probably need to kill this guy. Which is fine. So let's just get this, dump this. Guess we'll swing with the Dusk Feaster. even if my opponent has an answer for one of my creatures, they would have to get it off the top of their deck, and they still wouldn't kill Arlen Cord. They would have to draw something pretty good here to kill Arlen, like Expose Evil. Okay. Opponent drew off the top, decided they didn't have anything, so they're done. Okay. So, opponent's deck, black-white value. Best cards we saw. I think this Extricator of Sin is legit good. Just a good card. Shieldmate, multiples. This card is good. Sentry I like. From under the floorboards is good. So, some pretty decent cards there. Once again, the Gloom Widow Splash is kind of the oddest part of that deck. We really don't have much in terms of sideboard, do we? Not at all. We have the Recruitment to bring back zombies and draw cards, which that match would have done something with the Wailing Ghoul, but probably don't need it. And he didn't have any flyers, so I'm not sure. I'm not really convinced Swift Spinner is what we need. I have to pay attention to him leaving open mana for Shieldmate. I'm going to have to really pay close attention to that. Other than that, everything seems fine, so let's keep it the same and try again. This hand is a bit sketchy, but I think it's actually keepable. So the main reason that we'd want to keep a hand like this is green is the most important mana in our deck, and despite having 3 black cards in hand, we do have a 3-drop green spell and a colorless 3-drop spell. So as long as we draw any land, we can play these guys, and if we draw black mana, we can play our 2-drops right away. So I think this hand is actually worth keeping. As well as if we draw our ramp to... There's actually just quite a few draws we could draw that make this hand much better than it would appear. Ah, that could be a problem. Hey, right in the nick of time. Let's play the Graph Rats. Obviously, I'd much rather trade Graph Rats for Devilthorn Fox than Rancid Rats, especially given that we've got another Graph Rats in hand. Snap block. Ah, Extricator of Sin. All right. Is he going to sacrifice? Jeez. It's bold. Extricator's not that good this early. A little bit dangerous. We're going to play Wicker Witch here because I'm happy to trade a Wicker Witch for an Eldrazi Horror token and get another card type in our yard since I'm not going to trade a Woodland Patrol for it. And I'd rather just get the Wicker Witch in yard anyway, so let's just play the Witch. I mean, I could have done Graph Rats. It makes worse use of mana. But we're going to eventually need another black mana anyway if we ever want to hope to get to this Dusk Feaster. No attacks. Huh. Hey, that's cool. I like that. Let's make some good use of mana here. Actually, there is an argument to play Graph Rats here, because if we play Graph Rats, we get Scavenger online. We've got ourselves a nice Chittering Host, which seems really good to me. It's not like Woodland Patrol's doing that much on this board anyway, right? Well, let's play the Graph Rats. That seems good to me. We get this Scavenger in play, we're looking real good. He didn't play his 2/3. I'm glad he's not attacking, because our Midnight Scavenger is going to be much better. All right. We get a nice little double play now. which is going to work way better when we get this Midnight Scavenger in play. Remember, the Chittering Host has haste and menace. Just an excellent combination. All right. No surprise combat trick aspect of Shieldmate, which is good news for us. Okay. We are a land away from some awesome meld action. I think you have to meld too, right? You do have to exile them and meld them. So there is no choice on melding. Here we go, baby. Let's try this out. Let's see what we got here. I guess we're going to leave the scavenger back because there's no point. But we're going to ship a lot of other things. So I guess we'll go in with Witch, Rats, and Host. Yeah, it seems fine. God, 5/6 menace. That is a big boy. Much better than a 6/5 menace. I'll tell you that much. That's probably just a good idea. Take care of that threat now. So, I guess we'll kill the top two. We have 2 grapple from the past in our deck. Keep that in mind. So, even though 2 things are dying here, the scavenger and the rats, I can get the scavenger back and I have another rats now. So, that's still good for me. Opponent is still 2 card types away from Delirium. As our, well, we're 3 card types, I guess, so we are still a ways away as well. Primal Druid, okay. I mean, I don't really need it, but I guess I could play it before my Graph Rats. I don't need the Graph Rats that much either. I mean, I could attack with Wicker Witch, just because, but he probably trades it for a Sentry, which doesn't seem great for me. Or the Cutthroat. I don't like giving him those options. I mean, I can attack with Woodland Patrol now, which does seem good. He doesn't have a great block for that. Although, if he leaves up 3 mana, because we know he has another Shieldmate in his deck, that could be a problem, I guess, right? Well, I guess it's not even that big of a problem. I can play it pretty safe here, though. Especially if he's leaving up 5 for, like, Throttle. Let's just play the Rats and pass. Because now we're a land away from just hard casting a Dusk Feaster. So we probably just want to do that. Remember, we have 2 grapple of the pass. So that's just... We have, like, a lot of cards we could draw right now that just make this so much better for us. We get back Scavenger to replay it. We're actually a land away from grapple from the past into an immediate another Chittering Host. So we might as well just build towards that. I don't want to attack with the Rats because I feel like it gives him a lot of options. Ah yes, the splashed Gloom Widow. All right, let's just... It's the second time we've played a 7-drop Dusk Feaster. I admit, not hyper exciting here. So if he leaves up Throttle mana, I probably don't attack with Dusk Feaster. Just because it doesn't seem great for me, although maybe I should. The problem is, if he throttles, he can block with Gloom Widow. So if he leaves up 5, I probably don't attack with Dusk Feaster. Okay. So I think we're going to play this safe, because especially since we have a commanding board state advantage. I guess I'll sandbag 1 land because it doesn't matter. So, I mean, I can attack with Woodland Patrol, but let's just play this patient. Like I said, we're ahead on board at the moment. And he's not going to be able to leave up 5 mana forever. And the longer he leaves up 5 mana to leave up Throttle to get our Dusk Feaster, the better we're going to be when we get grappled in the past. And, I mean, once we get back in Chittering Host territory, this game has got to be very much close to being over. That's going to be a lot of damage. I mean, also not attacking with Dusk Feaster, besides playing around Throttle, plays around random stuff like Strength of Arms, which we know is good. Even Aim High lets him kill it with the Gloom Widow, so it just seems like why not play it a little bit cautiously here, especially since, like I said, we're ahead on the board, and we know of cards that we can draw that are just going to be really safe here. Okay, so our opponent had Prey Upon, which was a good play. I'd still, I think, rather bring back the Chittering Host than bring back the Scavenger than the Dusk Feaster. I'm pretty sure. All right, Hunter is good. So he left up Shieldmate mana. If he plays a Shieldmate, he can't block with Gloom Widow, and it only gives it to other creatures. So he could block with like an Extricator, a Sentry, and a Cutthroat, and I'd basically only be able to kill the Cutthroat or the Sentry. So I'd rather kill the Cutthroat and give him a 3/2, I guess. Maybe we should attack with the Woodland Patrol now. So he has sorcery, creature, land. He's still one card type away. He did have the Shieldmate, okay. That still is fine. Like, he could also just choose to block with Extricator, but we're going to be able to kill something here, and it's not going to be the Desperate Sentry. I'd rather kill the Cutthroat, I think. I don't want to give him a 3/2 at the moment. Oh, he just... Alright, well, I'm fine with that, too. That's fine. Honestly, I think that's kind of a waste of a Shieldmate. Because now we don't have to worry about it when we eventually start swinging with our Solitary Hunter. Scavenger can get back our Woodland Patrol too, which is kind of cool. All right. All right, let's start swinging with one of the pack. He doesn't even have the means to block it at the moment. He could throttle it, but see if he's got it. All right, sadly, his last card was the throttle, but we're just going to have to accept it. So he's going to be able to flip his extricator, but I guess we had to get through the throttle at some point, right? So we lose our dude. Net no value. Back into top deck mode, but we're still in a fine board state. Even with this 3-5 that he gets, it's fine. The Rancid Rats are basically just holding down the fort. There are a lot of good top decks we could get here. We've still yet to see our Mythic either. Kind of holding out hope we see that at some point. I guess Arlen Core doesn't do that much here until our Primal Druid dies. Alright, so he's got the infinite combo with Sanitarium, Skeleton, and Extricator, which was an excellent top deck for our opponent. Pretty necessary one there to really reaping a lot of value. So we're starting to get a little more desperate here. And at this point, I'd probably bring back the Dusk Feaster if I draw one of my Grasp at whatever it's called. I was all on board for the Midnight Scavenger Graph Rats plan, but now we just need to fly over top. We are definitely getting out top decked here, which is going to eventually be a big problem. It's kind of already started to be a big problem. I guess we can block like this. Block like this and probably just trade this off. Wait, why didn't I not block the... That was a problem. I should have blocked the Gloom Widow with the Scavenger and prevent damage. I was wrong. Alright. Guess I wasn't paying close enough attention there. Actually, I guess I should have just blocked the... Should I block the rats with it? Well, I did say it at the beginning, but I do tend to get flooded a lot more often than I get mana screwed. I know this is still kind of a small sample size, but you can see what I'm talking about, sort of. I mean, I'm sure there's so many people that left comments on the first thing. I was like, I'm crazy for running 16 lands, but this is kind of like a clear example of what I'm talking about here. This happens, in my opinion, so much more often than the opposite. And our opponent is just destroying us on top decks. Like, destroying us on top decks. I guess actually he played Succumb to Temptation, so that's inaccurate. He drew extra cards there. So we went from commanding board state lead to no chance of winning just from literally, I don't know how many turns of... I guess since our opponent's behind on clock, we might as well make him kill us. But yeah, I mean, Flood, Screw, both of them are frustrating for sure. But this is why I typically play 16 lands. I really want to avoid board states like this. as statistically often as possible. And I really think you can avoid situations like this more often by running 16 lands. Obviously, it did not ring true for this game, but how many top decks there could we have drawn? Arlen, Ishkana, Newscrab Mob. Maybe that was it? No, 2 Grapple with the Past would have done a lot. So we just had like a metric ton of draws there that would have been good, and we just didn't see them. So it does happen. Hopefully it does not happen here in Game 3. Yes. His hand is very good. But very surprising outcome to that game, absolutely. Usually when you have that much of a commanding board state and you have to go to top deck mode, it's unusual to lose in a way like that. So I guess we'll probably start it off with Graph Rats. Ooh, Captive. That's a good draw. So Captive's going to let us play Scavenger and Grapple with the Past. Or Wailing Ghoul Grapple with the Past. That might be better. So I guess if he leaves up 3 mana, I probably don't attack with... Yeah. So we're not going to attack into his Shieldmate. We know he's got multiples. No reason to throw Graph Rats away. Okay, let's... I guess we do want to play Wailing Ghoul first, right? Because, first of all, it uses our black mana, but if we were to lose a card that I need to get back with Grapple with the Past, I can do that now. So, did we miss a land play? Yeah, I think we did, because our opponent's... Okay. So we may just want to play Grapple now to make sure that we hit our land drop. I think we do that. I see. So we probably want the black mana. That gets us closer to our... then we're a land away from Newscrab Mob, yeah. So we're going to take the swamp. We're going to play it, and we're going to pass. So we're close to Delirium, and we're close to this Newscrab Mob. I'm hoping this Newscrab Mob does as much as I want it to do, which is spit out 1,000,000 dudes. Ooh, Ishkana. Let's play our Mythic, shall we? Oh, we're so close to Delirium, though. Is there any way we can get it? We have land, creature, instant. So we're going to need sorcery, planeswalker. Is it worth getting 3 extra dudes? Could be. We don't really need a 3/5 reach at the moment. All right, let's play the Scavenger first. There's a new card we haven't seen before. So what's he going to fight? Our Captive, I imagine? That would make the most sense. Yeah. All right, so we got our best creature. Looks like I'm going to have to play Ishkana now, but I guess now I need to draw land to play Ishkana. It's kind of an unusual attack. All right, let's just drop the Ishkana. It's fine. Obviously, I wanted Delirium there, but the Rolling Stones said it best. Can't always get what you want. Somberwald Stag's a fantastic card, by the way. This card is a slam first pick a lot of the time. In fact, the fact that my opponent is splashing for it is speaks volumes. All right, let's get down the new scrap mob and see how this card plays for us, because I'm curious. I want to spit out a bunch of zombies and then bring it back with a grapple with the past and spit out a million more. Ah, that's cool synergy. So is he going to fight our new scrap mob? It's not even that insane. Wait, no, even if it enters, I don't even know if that's in his best interest. He probably would prefer to fight something else, to be honest. If he fights our mob, I don't really care. Oh, that makes way more sense. What am I talking about? Yeah. All right. New scrap mob, not looking so bad so far. I mean, giving us a lot of bodies to block with, which I like. All right. Sure. I guess since we have the Skurzdag Supplicant, geez, opponent's got a lot of bombs to play, huh? Okay. Well, at least the new scrap mob's doing its job. Spitting out all sorts of zombies. All sorts of Zambinos. Ah, Boon of Emrakul. All right. So, what do we want to weaken and or kill? I guess we can work on this Dire Swine. No, it gives it plus power, though. So maybe we just want to kill his... Probably just want to kill the Shieldmate and get our Delirium, too. I don't want to boost its power, so let's just kill the Shieldmate. Since Gloom Widow can't block my non-flyers, I'm not sure if I'd prefer him to have that or not. So we do have Delirium now, which is nice. Oh, we lost our new scrap mob too, but remember, we could find a grapple with the past and replay it. Is 6 mana worth 5 zombies? Well, if you're going by the from under the floorboards math, I would say it's more efficient. Okay. I guess we're not ahead on life total, so I'm not sure this supplicant's going to work exactly the way we want it to, but that's all right. I mean, I guess maybe I'm supposed to start using Supplicant now? I can, but like I said, I'm not ahead on the... I probably just want to win through time, right? Hey! Let's start killing his guys. It seems good. Or I can just, once again, build towards emblem. I probably would prefer to do that. One of these days, I'm going to see an Arlen emblem. Believe you me. All right. My opponent decided they did not have enough time. Fine with me. We won the match. Very good. Deck played well for us. Other than game 2, where we had a little bit of a flood problem. But it seems like our deck can stall relatively well. And we got to try out what a Chittering Host is like, which was pretty good. And even the Dusk Feaster was pretty good, too. All right, let's go to match 2. We'll see in a second.